children that are born without money, without any money. Great parents, they can have everything, can be great, but they have no money. They can become very wealthy children at 18, and they can flip it over, or their people can flip it over into other vehicles at a certain age so that they don't take it out. I would recommend they probably don't take it out, but they can have a lot of money, especially if the market continues. Can you imagine if you did this during Trump a year ago, a year and a half ago, where the market's gone up at levels?
That's President Trump Monday ringing the opening bell from the Oval Office for the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ and the official launch of the Trump accounts, the new program designed to give American children a financial head start. The president pointing out gains in the market as to why it is imperative to get invested early in life. The administration hoping these accounts can actually change how Americans think about saving, investing, and building wealth over the long term. Altimeter Capital founder, chairman, and CEO Brad Gerstner, one of the architects of the Trump accounts, was in the Oval Office for the official launch. Watch.
Brad Gerstner has been pushing this, so he's a very successful man. He's an amazingly successful guy, and he's put up a tremendous amount of money.
Every child in America, all 70 million kids under the age of 18 deserve to have one of these accounts. We're going to get the accounts open for them. We're going to get them fully funded. The outpouring of support from America's corporate leaders, small business leaders, moms and dads, great philanthropists, we believe will raise over $100 billion for America's kids over the course of the next 12 months. Over the next 15 years, over $2 trillion will go into the pockets of kids and families that would have otherwise had zero, that would have been left out of America's capital markets. That is a legacy worthy of the great mission of this administration.
And that was Brad Gerstner, and Brad Gerstner joins me right now. Brad, great to have you. Congratulations.
Well, it's so great to be here, Maria. And I remember talking with you about this probably 3 or 4 years ago, the first time we chatted. We've chatted many times about it. Yep. And here we are. We have, we have an extraordinary outpouring, people signing up these accounts. The #1 app in the U.S. App Store, above ChatGPT, above Anthropic, above Google, is the Trump account app. And it demonstrates that American families want to be on Team America. They want to be in the game of our markets. And it's time that we get every single citizen. The president is fully committed. All 70 million kids under the age of 18, he wants to automatically create accounts and get everyone into the game of capitalism. You know, there's this fight for the soul of America, Maria, that you talk about every morning. We got the Mandamis and Bernies, and what they want to do is take everything from companies. They want to control it, and they want to decide who gets what. On the other hand, the President of the United States says just the opposite. Why don't we give everybody an individual private account that they own and control? They can have the dignity of their own savings. They can improve their own lot in life. Moms and dads and companies, churches and schools, all these people can contribute to these accounts. And if you start with $1,000 and it's matched at birth and you save just $50 a month, $10 a week, it's $50,000 at age 18, $200,000 at age 30, and it's $1 million at age 55. This is the difference between the president's idea for America, which is empowering individuals, and Mandami and Bernie's idea for America, which is more control, more centralized control from government, more dependency on government, which we reject.
Yeah, and I think the best part of this is that it gets a child invested early, and that just compounds over years. Eligible children are children born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028, eligible for that one-time $1,000 federal contribution. That money is invested in a low-cost U.S. stock index fund, and parents and others can contribute up to $5,000 a year. Employers can also contribute within the program's limits. But you've seen a huge outpouring from corporate America. Micron Technology, the latest to actually add on top of Michael and Susan Dell's enormous base contribution of $6.25 billion. Tell us more about what you're hearing from the reception from corporate America on this.
Well, first, every child in America under the age of 18 is eligible to open a Trump account, a free lifetime investment account. So I encourage everybody to download the app, Trump Accounts, .gov, and just it takes a few minutes to open the account. Start off, put 50 bucks in the account, put 100 bucks in the account. I've deposited, into lots of accounts. I've adopted schools, boys and girls clubs, and I'm depositing all of those kids' accounts. So number one, a misnomer is it's not just kids under the age of 2, it's all kids under 18. Secondly, the $1,000 just has to be reauthorized in 2029. I expect that it will. So I expect that the seed money from the federal government will continue, but you're absolutely right. The idea of this was always a public-private partnership, not a government-funded program.
Right.
We simply want the government to seed the accounts and get out of the way. And man, has corporate America and philanthropic America stepped in. Just earlier this week, Gwen Shotwell, the CEO of SpaceX, committed $300 million, 2 million shares of SpaceX stock to 2 million kids. And of course, Michael Dell, myself, I've adopted all the kids in Indiana, Ray Dalio, all the kids in Connecticut, and Micron, and the list goes on. And here's what I'll tell you. We have tens of billions of dollars in commitments we haven't announced. I said to the president, I think we'll have $100 billion of additional contributions in the next 12 months, because what we did was unlock the power of direct philanthropy. Anybody can give to anybody. You can adopt a city, a state, a school. You can give to your little league team. You can give to a couple kids, friends, kids. That is powerful. We eliminate that scrape, that charitable scrape, the 20 to 30% that a lot of charities take en route to give it to kids. And we know if a kid starts off with an investment account, they're more likely to graduate from high school and college, more likely to start a business, more likely to buy a home, more likely to pay taxes, less likely to be imprisoned. It is huge societal ROI, and America is unlocking their wallets and pouring a lot of money into these accounts.
Absolutely. It's an incredible idea. Congrats to you for being behind it for all of these years. President Trump now floating the idea of an Australia-style retirement savings system for American workers. Watch this.
And I made reference today that Australia has a thing going that's very good. It's really worked out very well. We have good respect for Australia, and that has to do with people that are working people. And it's something that also puts them in much better shape when they're retirement age. So we're gonna do that. We're looking at that very strongly. We're gonna be taking that, and we're gonna be maybe making it a little bit sharper, a little bit even better.
Brad, what do you make of this idea? Tell us more.
Well, first, my good friend, Alexander von Furstenberg, Kevin Hassett, and others have been talking about this for years. I'm a big fan of superannuation in Australia. It's very simple, Maria. In the United States, Social Security is a sacred promise that this president and this administration will uphold. They're never going to touch it. But you could imagine we could expand Trump accounts, which is effect at age 18. It's just an IRA, right? It's a retirement account. So you could expand Trump accounts to include everybody under 30 or everybody under 40, and you could allow people to contribute into those accounts, corporations or moms and dads, et cetera. And I think there's an idea down the line that, we force every worker to save 12.4% into their Social Security. The problem with it is it goes into the black hole of government. Nobody knows how much they've contributed. Nobody knows what it's invested in. Imagine this, Maria. Imagine if we said everybody under the age of 35 could open a Trump account, and you could take 1% or 2% of your Social Security dollars that you're forced to save, and you could put it into that Trump IRA, that Trump account, rather than into Social Security. So, but let me underscore this: double underscore, triple underscore. The Republicans and the Democrats, neither party is going to touch Social Security. It is a sacred promise. It will be fully secure. It will be fully funded. The question is on the go forward. On the go forward, can we do things in addition that empower the individual, that give them the ability to see, oh, I own a little bit of NVIDIA, a little bit of Microsoft, I own a little bit of Apple. And so it's in addition to, not a replacement for, but my suspicion is we've laid down the rails with Trump accounts. We don't need much in the way of new legislation. We simply expand the pool of people eligible for Trump accounts, which is an IRA after age 18.
Yeah, and it also helps with financial literacy, ensuring that individuals have the right ideas when it comes to borrowing and saving and investing properly over the long term. Before we go, real quick on this market, look, the Dow is down about 500 right now. The AI boom has been the biggest driver, one of the biggest drivers for markets, and investors are watching to see whether these expectations have gotten too high. Samsung reporting strong earnings thanks to AI chip demand, but the stock was down yesterday as investors questioned whether the AI rally can keep up. China also looking to tighten control over its most advanced models, raising new questions about the global race for AI leadership. What's your take on AI, the markets here reacting to what's going on in Iran with oil prices and rates spiking this morning, Brad?
Well, first, let's talk AI. The SOX, the semiconductor index, was up 80% for the year, Maria. So it's very natural for us to have some consolidation, take a breather, en route to higher highs. Obviously, when you have dislocations like we had overnight in Iran, that's going to have some effect on risk-taking behavior. So you're seeing a little pulling back. I think this is perfectly healthy. Here's the number one thing to keep your eye on. What set the markets ablaze earlier this year was Anthropic's revenue and OpenAI's revenue. If AI revenues are showing that we're earning a return on the $1.2 trillion of annual capex that we're now spending on AI, then markets are going higher. If we don't have those revenues, then people will start questioning whether we can afford this $1.2 trillion capex build out. What I'll tell you is the U.S. is ahead of China in AI. The revenues are showing up in May and June for the companies like Anthropic and OpenAI. So I think we're going to see this period of consolidation in the summer at Altimeter. We've had a heck of a year, a heck of a few years, but we pulled back some of our exposures to allow this consolidation to occur. But I believe that when those revenues show up in the back half of the year and we see some of these IPOs coming online that have been rumored, I believe that's another leg higher for the markets. That's assuming, of course, that we land the plane in Iran, which I think we will.
Yeah, all right. We'll be watching all of that. Brad, great to get your take on all of that. Thanks so much.
It's always great to be with you, Maria.
Brad Gerstner from Altimeter. We'll be right back. Stay with us.